Hey guys, Aaron here. Welcome back to Help Me DIY. Today I am going to replace the mass airflow sensor on my 2006 Porsche Cayman S. If you guys are into DIY car stuff, you probably want to subscribe to this channel, and I'm hoping you'll give this video a thumbs up. Helps the algorithm, gets it out to more people. I hear that using the actual Bosch one is very important on these cars, so here's the part number. I'll put a link to it in the description. And if you're changing it, you're also going to want to get one of these big old giant O-rings. There's that part number. I'll link that too. So after pulling the carpet off, removing the cover that has 5 T30 screws holding it down, these guys right here, you have access. Now on mine, I have the ultimate AOS, so your vehicle will not have that part. You'll have something that looks like this with an AOS with a tube running over here. It's gonna connect on either side of this intake tubing here. But you can ignore that. I'm gonna remove this part real quick to get it out of the way. All you will need to do is disconnect yours from right here, or mine is connected. I've got this cool little set of colorful tools that help you with those breather hoses to clamp them on and release them. So first, the location of your mass airflow sensor is right down here. So there's just a bunch of stuff in the way to prevent you from getting it out. So first thing, I'm going to remove this just so you can see what it looks like without that, like yours probably looks. And I just want to show you the part that we are replacing. So this electrical piece here is the actual mass airflow sensor. So for my model, the 987.1, it comes with this whole tube. You can't buy this piece separately. So we're gonna replace the whole tube. I've never done one on a 986, but I know those 986s just have these 2 bolts you can remove, slide this piece out, slide a new one in, and these are, you will notice, like a Torx, what do they call it? A security Torx. So it's got that little pin in the middle, so your Torx bit has to have a hole in the middle to be able to handle that. But we're not gonna remove that on this car. Just taking the caps off so you can see inside, mass airflow sensor, little venti thing. Oh, also there's like a little wire mesh screen on the inside too. So 2 sizes of blocking debris. Just to show you real quick what these do, they clamp onto the breather hoses where these little grippy pieces where you're supposed to squeeze them with your fingers and pull. It's really hard sometimes to get 2 fingers on that in the right place and get enough pressure on it. It applies that pressure for you just by sitting on there like that, or you can just use one hand and easily pull it off and then go fetch that from down there, since I was recording with my other hand. All right, so you're just gonna have to pretend with me for a while that all of this stuff is not here, and we are just going to loosen up these 2 metal bands on this side and the 2 on the right. Well, clamps technically, I guess. So they just have 7mm connectors for their little screws here, and we're just going to loosen both of these. They are clamping down on this piece of rubber right here, this rubber seal. And after they're loose, we're just going to push them all the way to the outside, and we're going to push these all the way to the outside that way so that we can get this freed up. And before we can remove that, there's going to be one, I think it's a 10mm nut on that little post that is attached to this pipe, and we're going to have to remove that. So just loosen and loosen. All right, with them nice and loose, you should be able to, just with your hand, push them in like this. All right, so you can see that slide open. And part of the reason I'm doing this is diagnosing why I'm getting some smoke on startup. So it's kind of oily in there. Just loosen this side. And these are my shift cables, so you'll probably just have to deal with these, push them out of the way, hold them in place, loosen that one. Ratchet with an extension to reach your 10mm nut. Grab that guy. So So you can see that's just a stud on a post down there. All right, if you follow this down, you'll see the bottom part is connected on here by another one of these clamps. So it's just a 7mm again to loosen that up. And you should be able to reach down, and this is like a rubber hose, so it bends down here pretty easily, and just push it off. Taking it off is a lot easier than getting it back on. Okay, now up here you can just kind of work it back and forth while lifting this thing off the post, and at the same time angling this to get it out. So it's not, I haven't figured out a great science to it yet. Just grabbing it by this thing and pushing it towards the front of the car. All right, so this piece is off the post, so we have more freedom now. All right, just working it up. All right, now we got it up out of there. Moving it forward. Oh, yes. I forgot. Our shift cable also clips into the bottom of this, so you have to hold the shift cable this way. It is a tight fit, and I just kind of wiggle it back and forth. Squeeze a little, pull a little. So you can see the cable is halfway out now. I think it's most of the way out now. Yeah, okay. So this comes loose. You will want to note that on the end of this there is a vent line down there, and there are still a few things attached to this. Over on this side, back behind it, there are a couple, there's one tube and a wire down there, but we don't have to completely remove that. We just have to get it out of the way. We can set it there. I don't think we'll have to disconnect all of the wiring to it. We just need enough space to be able to get our mass airflow sensor out after we disconnect it. All right, now if you look down here, you can see the back, well, there's the mass airflow sensor, and the back of this little tube right here where that arrow is one metal clip holding it on, and over here is the second one. So I should just be able to reach my hand, or more easily a screwdriver in there, and just pop that open. All right, let me try it with a screwdriver. Let's see if I can record this for you. And just kind of pry up right here. Okay, there we go. See how it just popped off this little hook part? It was just right up on the ledge, and I can't record it, but I'll do the same on the other side. All right, actually this side is a lot easier if I just reach in with my right hand, and I've got my thumb easily on that thing and just popped it off. So now, ignoring my Ultimate AOS again, let's reposition that out of the way. I should be able to grab the mass airflow sensor and tubing and just pull it out. And lift it up. So here's our, let's see, so remember what orientation that came out of. You're gonna wanna put it back in the same way so you can tighten it. Oops, and of course your mass airflow sensor is still connected. So I guess before trying to pull it up, what I should have done is actually disconnected it. Okay, the key is to disconnect this before you start trying to take that out so you can reach it. There's a push tab. You push here with your thumb to raise that and pull this out, and the tab is towards the back of the car on mine. So now that that's disconnected, should wiggle out pretty easily. Mine has some oil in here. So, of course, one option is to clean your mass airflow sensor with appropriate cleaner, but I'm pretty sure this is probably my stock one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and replace it. Just loosened the clamp on the other side of this boot holding this together, and mine went in this orientation, so I'll put it back when I'm done. And then I should be able to pull these apart. Just gonna use a screwdriver to get that started, to get under my boot. Pry it out. Okay. Of course, there's the O-ring. It is on the side closest to the air filter. I'm just gonna reach in here and grab it with my fingernail, pull it out. Old O-ring. There she is. So let me try to get you a better view of this, where the O-ring came from. So right under that lip right here, there's a few of those around it. So I'm just going to stick a new one in there. So I just reached in with my hand and tucked it under all of those tabs all the way around, and it'll fit in there nice and snugly. So installation should just be the reverse. I'm gonna put this boot back on, and yeah, the inner thing kind of acts as its own O-ring. It snaps into that groove. I'm gonna get this guy, get him back in his track. And let's see, I'm actually going to go back and look at my video to see exactly which direction this was aimed so that I can put it back on the same way. Well, there's a little mark over here, and there is a little, that's in the way, little arrow here. So I'm thinking that maybe you line those up. Notice there's also these little nubs right here, and that happened to be where my clamp was attached. You can tell from those marks on here. So this side has the same thing. We're gonna give it a shot. Oh, okay, got it back in there. Pushed it in with the O-ring, took a little bit of jiggling, pushing, whatever. You can see the little tabs where the metal clips have to go in to line it up. Hardest part was getting that tab on, so let me try to explain this the best I can, the way I did it. So the O-ring is super snug, and it kind of like presses your mass airflow tube out if it just sits there. So I had to use my thumb and on the outside of the tab, push that tab in as hard as I could to seat the O-ring, and then with my index finger, grab that metal hook and pull this way while pushing this way with my thumb, and clipped it in. So it was not easy. Hopefully the other side will be a little bit simpler. Let me hook that on now. All right, much the same on that side. This one was a lot easier. I reached under, pushed the tab with my thumb, pulled with my finger like this, and I have all this extra crap in the way that I have to jostle and reach around. So without that, it should be easier for you guys. So don't forget to reconnect your sensor. Just snap that back in. All right, just wiggling this tube back down into place, and just using a screwdriver or a hook or something to kind of go around and reseat this. All right, one of my little tricks to getting these things to slide on nice and easily is just take a tiny bit of silicone lube and just hit right around the ring. And I'm gonna do the same thing down here to try to get that one down there to slide on a little easier too. And I will warn with these things, if you do not get it all the way up here, all the way around, even underneath where you can't see, you're gonna have a big air leak. I have done that a couple times. I just like to use a big screwdriver back here, gently get that started, reach under, push this all the way flush up here, but you can see it's really easy to have a big gap back here if you're not paying attention. So you got to make sure you work that gap all the way closed. And then the easiest thing to do is get like a little mirror or a borescope and look under where this ring here is and make sure that it is all the way up against the tube so you don't have any air leaks. All right, everything is buttoned back up. New mass airflow sensor installed. So congratulations, you've done it. Hope I helped you guys learn something. If I did, all I ask in return is that you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, and if you're feeling really generous, there is a super thanks button where you can donate to the channel. Any proceeds that come in will go right back to tools and parts to make more cool content for you guys. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys on the next video.